What is the darkest thing you have kept from your partner? Her father once told me, if he could go back in time, he would never have dated her mother and have kids with her. Was pretty shocking thing to hear while on vacation with the whole step family. The guy has Asperger's. Weird family. The girl left me cold turkey a few months later after 7 years together, and I still didn't even think about telling her that story. I'll often think of murdering a man in a gruesome and slow, agonizing death. This man was my mother's BF for about 8 years and he was raping my sister from the age of 12 to 17. When the rest of my family found out, it was devastating. It broke my family up for 2 years afterwards. I should point out that I would never actually do it. I have far too much to lose if I ever got caught. But the thought cheers me up if I'm ever angry and need something to help me calm down a bit. Posted this before, but I never told my wife that her mother tried to have sex with me. It was early in our marriage when we were living with her to save money for our own place. Her marriage of 28 years had ended badly and she was emotionally fragile. She was very drunk and was absolutely horrified at what she had done when she sobered up. I promised not to ever tell my wife and I never did, even when she and I were fighting near the end of our marriage. Some things are too cruel to do, even when you're trying to hurt each other. I hooked up with a professor of mine in college and after that she would pimp me out to her colleagues. That's not the label she would have given it, but that's what it was. I couldn't tell my wife for 18 years of knowing each other that I had been molested by an older female family member when I was 6. To be fair, I had never told anyone because of the specific situation. I kept it to myself because I thought my mom would blame herself, and it would put a rift in that side of the family. After my mom died it hit me like a ton of bricks and I had to tell someone. So, you are all second to know. I was born with only one hand. I have rheumatoid arthritis in the one hand I have, and I know it's spreading. I have osteoarthritis in my lower back and scoliosis to the point where I am most likely going to need spine surgery. I'm only 31 years old. I can't do this for another 50 plus years. I am in such bad pain now and it's only going to get worse. I have thought of suicide but can't do that to my husband and kids. I don't want my husband to turn into a caregiver. I can't envision not being able to take care of myself. Exactly how bad of a person Elle used to be before I met her. She knows I was into the drugs and some other dumb shit, but she doesn't know the depths of depravity I delved to in order to fit in with the people I mistakenly wasted my time with. I had a total mental breakdown in 2017 caused by stress. Never told anyone. It's the worst my mental health has ever been and I'm afraid of getting like that again and not getting help. Sometimes I buy a chocolate bar when I go to the grocery store and eat it before I get home. She's my ex now, but she had just revealed to me some very, confidential info I understand I'm one of only 4 people to know. She asked me if I have any deep secrets like that. I lied and told her I didn't, but the truth is, my grandmother by marriage, no blood relation, sexually harassed and abused me as a preteen and teenager. Literally nobody IRL knows. I've never told anyone. She farts in her sleep like a wild bear. Please stop upvoting. 12,500 so far and we share our email address. I have been deleting all day and she is about to come home from work. Sometimes I buy a chocolate bar when I go to the grocery store and eat it before I get home. I thought she liked cantaloupe. She thought I liked cantaloupe. So we had a lot of cantaloupe with dinner. Turns out we both don't like it. He wanted to find a shark tooth so badly after I found one at the beach. So I went and bought a small bottle of shark teeth from the gift shop, spread them out all over a strip of beach we were hanging at and marveled at every shark tooth he brought me. I can never tell him the truth. I'm from South Louisiana and my dad is in a Mardi Gras crew. Every year he's on a float throwing beads. My husband has never been to Mardi Gras, so his first time he was so excited and it was at my dad's parade. Normally people on the floats throw the good beads to kids or women that will flash them. I told my husband that if you yell "Throw me something, mister," loud enough the people on the float will give you the good beads. I told my dad and he told his float buddies. When their float came around my husband was screaming like a banshee, "Throw me something, mister." My dad and his friend pelted my husband with their best beads. When we were leaving the parade my husband was flexing all his nice new beads and thinks Mardi Gras is the best thing ever. Didn't have the heart to tell him that I told my dad to do that. He just thinks that because he was so enthusiastic, he got all the good stuff. Not my GF now, but she didn't know the extent or details of my childhood struggles. She knew I grew up in the projects up until age 10, but I think because I never wore it like a badge of honor or carried myself in the stereotypical way of someone who would come from that environment, many people think I was unaffected. And I never bothered to share those details because I never wanted to make a sob story out of a situation that I was blessed to get out of and that many people are still currently in. But that living situation has taken a toll on me in various ways that I love to expound upon for those who are interested. This is from my POV, not Doofenshmirtz. My father is an AIDS patient. He did not reveal it to anyone and married my mom. And as a result I was born unaffected. My mother also is unaffected. Happened in 2002. To clarify the doubt from my father, a DNA test was performed and I am his son but without the virus. Suicidal ideation. I am a really introverted person, and talking about things doesn't really help me. I live a blessed life for the most part, but in the last couple years I've become really jaded. I'm not suffering, more that just don't see the point of continuing. Everything is just gray. I took out a really good private life insurance policy a couple years ago, and it covers suicide. My policy's suicide clause and Conti stability provision is up, so they'll be taken care of for life. I took the last year as a sabbatical and spent it entirely with my wife and kids, just making memories and doing the things I enjoy. Declining mental health and an everyday drug addiction. I wish I hadn't been so good at hiding it. I needed help. Once found a very good little chocolate cake in the half-price section of the local supermarket. I originally bought it so I and the lady in the house could have it for dessert, but I ended up eating the whole thing myself. That there is literally nothing about myself that I actually like, and I honestly have no idea what he sees in me. My body is a mess. I try and compensate by being the best partner I can be. I don't like my face, my scars, my skin, my body, the way nothing really works at any given time. I've managed to get to a neutral view of myself, if you will. Just once like to feel like the most sexy and beautiful woman in a room, when there is more than one woman present. I worry that I am holding him back from someone better, healthier, more attractive. He'd be a great father, but I don't want biological children. Been upfront about it, and I think I am depriving him of something. I know all of the above is his choice and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. All the men been with before him, only 3, made it crystal clear they were with me because I was nice, supportive, safe, and convenient. Because I put up with their bullshit. They weren't actually attracted to me, just what I could do for them. I made them feel good about themselves. I felt like they weren't really attracted to me, and when we broke up it turned out to be true. My marriage ended in a dead bedroom. We had sex because they felt obligated, which really messed with my head. My first serious boyfriend cheated on me with my very attractive friend for months. Neither of them complimented me without prompting. Even then it was, "You look fine, let's go." I've been laughed at and ignored in lingerie. I told my ex in counseling that they made me feel unwanted, unattractive, unloved, uninteresting. They said, "I guess I could see how you feel that way." It's hard to build confidence when my whole life has been about what's, objectively, wrong with me. When everyone around me, including my romantic partners, compliment everything except my appearance. Now I'm in my mid-30s and this is the first one who think might actually be attracted to me. It feels too good to be true. I fucking hate dandy. It bores me to fucking tears. Yet I've orchestrates an elaborate lie that gives the illusion I love it as much as he does, and once a month I have to spend 5 hours sitting through a session bored to tears. I do this simply because it's one of the few hobbies in his life he gets to enjoy, and I want him to have someone to play it with. It's been going on for 5 years now, and I have no way out. LOL. It's okay though, the amount of joy I see he gets from playing it gives me comparable joy, so I don't mind that much. I suffer from chronic depression. My so is super sweet and supportive, but I am afraid of unloading too much of my crazy on him. I keep dark thoughts and feelings from him all the time. Make him miserable if I didn't. He knows, BTW, I am not keeping all of it from him, just a lot of the excessive stuff. For most of my early 20s I used a fetish hookup website. I have done some real weird shit just to see if it did anything for me. A lot of it did, but it wasn't particularly safe and I dodged a bullet not contracting STDs. I made a lot of amateur porn during this time and then a GF, and I joined an amateurs content sharing site Zoig and made a bunch more. She knows I'm kinky, but I did some pretty fucking weird shit. I was sexually abused throughout my entire childhood and early teens. I've told one person this that I got close to earlier, and I woke up with her gone from my apartment. It really messed me up since I trusted that woman. Now I live with my beautiful so and never felt better, but I always have this thought in my head. I feel like it's something you should tell the girl you intend to marry, but not sure if I'll ever have the guts to do it. That the real root of my trust issues stem from how I was sexually assaulted by my extremely religious godparents' son when I was 11 to 12. It first started out with comments about my body, how I was filling out, then it evolved from there. My parents would send me to their house for whole summers, and I particularly remember that one. My mom came to visit and I practically begged her to take me home. She adamantly refused even after I told her I was not comfortable and was scared, and she still left me with them. I guess from there I just slowly stopped trusting the ones closest to me. Just how much I depend on her. For our first 8 or so months of marriage, my wife and I were never apart due to moving around and being in lockdown. Even now we're hardly apart since we both work from home. She doesn't know just how sad I get when she goes away. I miss her so much, and all I really want to do is curl up on the bed and wait for her to come back. I lose my smile, I lose interest in all my hobbies, everything. Once she gets back though, I'm alright again. Edit, Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that reaction. For those of you suggesting that I'm a dog, haha, it's a funny joke. For those of you suggesting that I have abandonment issues, I probably do, and she knows about it. I'm going to therapy soon, but fucking hell, my marriage is not on the rocks. My wife and I are very happy together. We love each other more than ever, and believe it or not, she kinda feels the same way. We're both clingy, but that's fine. We like being around each other. Is that really a bad thing? We're both kinda introverted. We're both homey, so I honestly don't see it as the biggest problem in the world. Regardless, I'm gonna work on it, but fucking hell, you people can be judgmental assholes. Well, as she found out 2 days ago, I make an incredible breakfast pizza. She's highly upset I have kept this from her. I have anxiety attacks when my so is away. We joke about me believing he's dead when I don't hear from him often enough, but it's real. Like hyperventilating, heart racing, crying, rocking back and forth real. He loves going on road trips and does landscape photography. I can't ruin that for him. How bad my last suicide attempt was before meeting him the next year. I had a full meltdown in my apartment and took all of my pain meds, chronic patient. I was so high I sent out business-like emails and wrote my will on a Wendy's napkin. I started convulsing and got in the bathtub. I was afraid to leave a mess for anyone who found me. I ripped down the shower curtain to in the tub and climbed in with my favorite blanket and stuffed animals. I sobbed and thought about everything in my life that bothered me. I just laid there for God knows how long, drinking shitty vodka and fading in and out. I apparently responded to some of the messages from my love interest at the time and my best friend. She noticed my wording was weird and not at all like how I normally write. She called me and threatened to call EMS. She told me I had to throw them up or she would call my dad 20, who lived 2 streets over. I'm terrified of inconveniencing people, so I threw it all up. She took her mom's truck without permission and drove to my apartment an hour away while on the phone with me. I don't remember much, but I woke up feeling horrible in the ER. The nurse said she ran into the lobby carrying me and screaming I wasn't breathing. It must have been 100% adrenaline because she's 8 inches shorter than me, and I'm not light. It was bad to say the least. My husband knows I tried to hurt myself by overdosing, but I told him it didn't work and my best friend tucked me into bed. I don't have the heart to tell him the truth. I hate that she compares my to ex-husband and I have to prove her wrong over and over again. Hate that I have to pay for his past mistakes. Like starting to wonder if I can keep doing this. I really do love her, but it's making me depressed. That I actually wasn't into fish, or any maritime animals, before I met her. She's super interested in that though, and I wanted to have something to talk about. I have since told her as I thought it was rather funny.